change. That said, we're going to take a look at Kelvin Grove 3 first. In the top lane will be FlareLG, jungler FreeBearFacts. Mid lane will be done by Finchi, VERYSTALEMEME on the AD carry position, and Soup Time on support.
I hope we get some free bear facts in the chat.
I do.
I do want some bear facts. You know, I hope the name lives up to the hype. I would like to know a little bit more about bears, particularly the grizzly and maybe the black. You know, two fun bears.
Well, the fun rule about the grizzly and the black, is that if it's brown, run for your life. If it's black, run towards it, and maybe you can scare it.
Okay, right, fair enough.
Actually, I'm pretty sure if the grizzly's coming after you, you're just done.
That's it. Finished. Finito. And their opponents today on the red side, Marsden. Up on the top lane, we got Derpy. In the jungle, Huntah. Mid lane, Jòker. Bot lane, Sylas. And in the support, Kitsuke, 86. So a couple of subs there, but in the top lane and the support. So obviously Marsden changing around a couple of roles, changing around a couple of players. Yeah, obviously they're here, all day, and it's good to get all the different students involved. So obviously using their subs, giving them an opportunity to play on stage, and one of these matches that maybe doesn't mean as much. So good to get your subs some practice.
Yeah, exactly, just that. I mean, this is supposed to be a fun experience for all to participate, and it's good seeing the teams going ahead and playing their subs, letting everyone have a go. Of course, every team only does get 2 games during this phase. For Kelvin Grove 3, they're actually only playing 1 game, as their sister team, KG4, the state champions, will be playing in our main event for the day, up last. So definitely a last chance showing for each of these teams. I imagine as a result, they're going to be wanting to really give it their all, pull out those surprise picks. Maybe we will see that Garen Yuumi bot lane in this one. Who knows? Into the picks and bans we go.
Yeah, I mean, interesting to see the ban phase will change a little bit as well, because obviously both these teams are a little bit stronger. You will expect still just like the bans of the, just still obviously individual players, comfort picks and stuff like that, right? Because we're still not at a level where it's a full meta. You're never really going to see that until you get into those full challenger games and stuff like that, which is not until you're watching the actual meta high school league nationals finals. But we see Galio, Amumu, and Tryndamere. I don't know, I got confused with that champion was. Haven't seen it in
Tryndamere being banned away, as well as the Sivir. On the opposite side, the Amumu and Galio taken away. So already a different sort of take on these bans. Very targeted once more, I would have to believe, especially in the case of the Tryndamere and the Galio ban. Garen taken away, so KG3 definitely do not want me to have fun with the Garen Yuumi.
No, apparently not. So no Garen will be seen on stage once again. I don't believe it was played by either side or by Marsden in their first game, but again, getting that champion off the board, obviously scared of that Yuumi Garen bot lane. That's strong bot lane. You know what I mean?
I'm liking the Zilean ban as well, targeting Soup Time, who I believe was a Zilean main when we last cast them. So not surprised to see that hasn't changed. Insta-lock Aatrox though, coming from Flare. Now, I had actually seen him practicing the champion before, so I'm not surprised at all to see that get locked in. In response, though, our third Zoe of the day.
Yeah, instantly Zoe locked in again. I mean, Zoe obviously played in the first game, and Huntah as well played his Kayn in the first game, so back on those champions once again. Obviously, they're maybe comfort picks or priority picks. Interesting to see Aatrox locked in so early, since he's not traditionally a flex pick, and there are a lot of counter picks available to him. So something like the Poppy you could pick. Ooh, okay. Yeah, that's interesting. Ivern being locked in here.
There is that spice we were talking about. We were hoping to see something come out that's a bit different. Ivern for sure is a very different jungler.
Yeah.
I mean, he is a hard jungler, so that will be played by FreeBearFacts, but
I mean, I was expecting Volibear, not gonna lie. I think Volibear would have been very nice. But looks like Akali locked in. So everyone's just picking for themselves on this fancy drafting strategies on the side of Kelvin Grove 3, but Akali locked in the mid lane into the Zoe. I think that's a very strong matchup for the Akali. Obviously, Zoe can land some poke and maybe start trading back, landing good couple bubbles when she's going to that Shroud. As it does cut off an area of that Shroud that Akali can use. But overall, I still think the gap closing once she hits level 6 is going to have a lot of pressure on the immobile control mage that Zoe is. And Vayne locked in as well for Sylas. Obviously, played that in the first game, so he'll be back on his Luna Revel Vayne. So he's going to enjoy that pick in particular, and we'll see exactly how these teams round out their comps in the rest of the draft.
It's very interesting to me that Marsden's, the 3 players that played in our first game, are able to get the exact same 3 champions again for the second game. That tells me either KG3, maybe didn't do their research and watch that first game, or maybe they felt watching that game, you know what, we can give them these picks, we will beat them regardless. When you take a look at the bans, I mean, a lot of it was actually focused against that top lane, so trying to focus down Derpy instead. As a result, I'm very curious to see where Derpy will go. I'm assuming that will be that last counter pick. I can tell you this much, though. We won't be playing Alawi.
No, definitely not. Will not be playing the god of the under. Or also, she's a. What's the god that
I just call her like a Cthulhu priestess.
Cthulhu priest? I don't know. She has the
that's
god of the sea. The god of the. I don't know. Nagake Boros.
Yeah.
You know, classic League of Legends lore references. But yeah, Alawi's like a really strong champion at the moment, actually, like one of those S-tier top lane picks. Obviously with Cryptomancy, gets a lot of gold and, you know, is a very good matchup into the Aatrox as well. You're able to poke her out with your Qs and you just pretty much out-damage him now that he does no revive. Because it used to be he used to survive your ultimate, get the revive and get some help and then come back. So, I mean, Aatrox is still very strong and wins most of his matchups, but a Kai'Sa locked in, so maybe you're seeing something interesting like a Vayne top.
Could be seeing the Vayne top. That would be a real big surprise. Could be a Kai'Sa support, maybe. I have no idea what's going on with Marsden. Double 80 carry.
Kayn top, Kai'Sa jungle.
Yeah, who knows? I think I'm really curious to see where that last pick will go. Marsden breaking convention very much so with that pick right there. On the other side, though, KG3, much more conventional AD carry lock-in right now with the Caitlyn. That's pretty straightforward.
Yep.
All they need is a support. Braum fits the bill perfectly.
Yep, Braum locked in with the Caitlyn, a very strong dominating 2v2 lane. Interestingly, Morgana was not banned, so they could have definitely gone for a Morgana Caitlyn lane, which would have definitely won the lane phase, and especially would have blocked this Leona pick that's been locked in here for the support for Marsden. I mean, Kai'Sa Leona is a very strong lane. Looks like that will end up being the duo, and the Vayne will actually go into top side. I don't know about the Vayne into Aatrox matchup. I'm sure early on Vayne's going to poke, but I think once Aatrox gets stronger... actually, I don't know. Tumble out of the queues. I think that's probably... I assume Vayne would win it, but it's definitely not an orthodox matchup.
It all depends on mechanics and the ability to kite. I feel like Derpy is definitely going to be put on the test. When you take this matchup, you are essentially saying, you know what? I am going to be a better mechanical player than you.
Yeah.
I'm going to beat you in lane, and you will not be able to touch me. Whether or not that is the case, well, we're going to have to wait till we're in game to find out, but definitely a statement team composition coming out of Marsden. High skill cap, hard to fully execute. I do like Kasuke on the Leona. I think that is that sort of fallback engage that the team needed. But with how volatile these lanes are, I feel that they might get punished in this one. Yeah,
I think so as well. I definitely think KG3 look like they've got a much nicer comp. You know, across the board, they kind of synergize better. There's no real front line here, except maybe the Leona for Marsden. You know, also Dark Master Ivern, quality skin. One of the best skins in the game. I love that. Not as good as Dark Master Darius. Not as good as, you know,
Ivern
Swamp Master Kennen. Swamp Master Kennen, the best skin ever.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. Lollipoppy.
Lollipoppy. You know, these quality skins obviously not as good as that, but it's very, very close as we now are jumping onto the Rift and see these two teams loading out.
Yeah, I know you love your Dunk Master Ivern. He doesn't dunk. I think
he dunks.
No, he doesn't.
He's tall, but he's lanky. Just boom, dunk.
Yeah, but he doesn't have the dunk. It's not like
Jeremy Lin,
Darius. Darius dunks.
True.
Master
Darius
Yi dunks. Dunk Master Yi. Have you never seen that?
No.
Oh, look that up. It's a great video.
Like now or after?
Yeah, right now. Let's just cancel the stream. We're watching YouTube instead. This is becoming
YouTube. We're watching some VERYSTALEMEME memes.
Yeah. That said, though, we are on the Rift for Kelvin Grove 3 taking on Marsden. Game 3 here at the Ekka. If you're in the crowd, give these players a cheer because we are underway. Get loud as they stand in bushes and play the line of scrimmage. Both teams afraid to really step towards each other.
Question.
Oh, question mark ping actually went down because FlareLG did step forward.
Was seen. Conquer on this Aatrox. Good to see. Good, strong rune. And you see Flash on D as well. Flash on D is the superior place to put the Flash. Flash on F is simply wrong. That's all I wanted to say. Flash on F is wrong. Flash on D. D for dash.
I think you just changed what you wanted mid-sentence there.
Did I?
Yeah, you did. You started off saying Flash on D is wrong, but that's what's wanted. Flash on D is what you want.
Flash on D is... I play Flash on D. Flash on D is optimal. D for dash.
So Faker thinks you're bad.
No, Faker plays with Flash on D.
No, he's Flash on F.
No, he's Flash on D.
He is Flash on F.
He's Flash on D. That's F. D's on
That's not Faker.
Sure, you should. No,
that's
on F. That's on F.
Yes.
The Faker is always on D.
No, it's not.
Faker's Flash is always at the top.
Either way, this is irrelevant. This is not important to the game. What is important is following those initial jungle pathways to see who will get that early lane pressure first. Huntah, we've seen him play already. We know he likes to try and scale. we won't be seeing too much of an impact of him till later in the game. FreeBearFacts on this Ivern, though, maybe that's where we're going to see some of that aggression.
I mean, yeah, I was going to actually point towards that early jungle passing from Ivern. It's very crucial because he's able to just steal away a camp instantly if Kayn is not there to contest. Interesting, Kayn also started with that bot side leash, which is not usually Kayn solo does Raptors, right? Because his two Qs will clear out all the mini Raptors, will get level up, and then he'll use his W to take out the, not W, his E, sorry, to take out the big Raptor and get the health back once he jumps through the wall. But obviously, Ivern is very much a very good invading jungler because you can just use your passive to get the camp ring around and then just instantly smite it down. So early on, you want to usually try to invade and go for a 3-buff over your opponent, put an early gank here from Ivern.
Yeah, here's that early gank. FreeBearFacts does force out the flash. Derpy should be able to tumble safely back underneath the tower, but critical summoner use, especially with the Aatrox Vayne matchup. That's sort of that safety net now gone, and Flare could look for that solo kill.
Yeah, given the fact the flash is now gone on the Aatrox, it does mean that he is going to be able to really abuse the Vayne here. You know, given the fact that she has no flash, so if he gets caught by a root, like in this scenario,
yeah, something like this, a little premature on the first engage right now. Derpy, nice condemn, throwing Flare back, but tough situation already, getting abused for that early gank. Meanwhile, FreeBearFacts is actually looking mid lane right now. Kind of walks right through the lane, gets hit with the Sleepy Trouble Bubble. Good body block there by Flinch, and Flinch is actually going in quite deep, trying to force Jòker back.
I mean, on this Akali into the zone match, obviously he's trying to play a little bit aggressive, but you see how up in the top lane, now no flash on this Vayne. Needs to look for those roots.
Zenith Blade does connect. Silas was pretty far back in lane, trying to step forward. A great shield blocks a lot of that damage, so good play by Soup Time to sort of win that trade for Kelvin Grove.
Yeah, I mean, that's the advantage of having Guardian on the Braum. That stand behind me pretty much instantly procs it, and it's almost active every single time you're standing next to your AD carry.
All right, Huntah going in on FreeBearFacts. You have Jòker roaming down as well as Kitsuke. Flash burn from this Ivern connects with the root, so should escape safely. Good rotation by Marsden, but up top, Derpy really needs to be careful.
Yeah, it's FlareLG now. No flash on Derpy means he's going to be taking a lot of damage from this Aatrox. That little scuttlefly there reminded me of the famous Ivern game by Peanut in the LCK, in which he ended up going for the scuttle and didn't actually understand how Ivern worked. So he stood there channeling while the enemy jungler stood there and ordered him once every time the passive was half finished channeling. And they stood there for a good 30 seconds and Peanut literally could not hit the buff and couldn't fight because he didn't have enough damage to kill the Lee Sin. And so the Lee Sin, I think it was Rush playing Lee Sin, literally just stood there, waited for him to like half channel and ordered him to cancel it.
Fair enough. Yeah, well, this is why you should know your champions before playing them on stage. I doubt we will see that mistake coming from FreeBearFacts in this one. Something else I want to point out right now is Marsden's vision control on the bot side of the map. That entire river right now is lit up as a bit of a gank is happening in the mid lane. Sleepy Trouble Bubble did hit. A bit of follow-up damage right there from Huntah, but not enough to warrant it all in. Meanwhile, Derpy, every time he's stepping forward, just getting harassed by Flare.
Yeah, I mean, this is the deficit of having the short-range Vayne up in this top side, right? Only 550 range on that champion, and Aatrox's Q, I believe, is 600 range at the length of the sweet spot. So kind of counters out those autos there, and she's got to be very careful. Obviously, she has tumble to dodge, but if you're using your mana and using those tumbles to move around that first Q, you can obviously follow up with a W, follow up with an E dash, cancel those and lock you down with that CC.
Yes, CC, of course, meaning crowd control. Another thing I want to point out happening on that top lane is the current CS differential. Nearly a 20 CS lead at the moment for the side of KG3. Meanwhile, though, a bit of a cheeky invade attempt almost. Both mid laners able to roam towards the jungler, so Huntah will be able to escape.
Some fancy feet there from FreeBearFacts. Just moving in and out, dodging them Sleepy Trouble Bubbles, dodging the I don't know what the Kayn sweep's called, but the E, the W there from the Kayn. Moby Boots completed very quickly on the Ivern as well. Good thing I want to see this Ivern is not finish his jungle item because it is like very useless on the champion. You don't actually need it. You just need it for the extra EXP that it provides you in the lane, but you don't actually need to ever finish it. Generally, you'll see an Athene's or maybe
yeah, a bit of a gank happening up top right now. Flare gets condemned to safety. Actually, Flash was still available as well, so no real danger for the kill to happen up top. I'm curious what the response will be. I'm watching FreeBearFacts and where he's going to roam right now. I imagine he's actually going to invade and try and get some deeper vision in.
Yeah, most definitely going to try to take this blue buff away. Obviously knows it's spawning soon given his own spawn timer and should just smite this camp away. Oh, she doesn't have smite up, so he can't. But I would have loved to see FlareLG take that 2v1. I definitely think with 2 half-health units, his ultimate available, Conqueror about to be procced, he could have very easily taken the 2v1 and killed both of them, if not at least one of them there on the Aatrox, and get out alive as well. Obviously, his ultimate now gives you 70% healing rank 3. I think at rank 1 it's, what, 50%? Up from 35. So it's a huge buff and an incredible increase in the amount of healing and dueling potential that Aatrox has, especially with his Conqueror rune. And especially early on, he's doing a lot of damage with those Q sweet spots if he can hit them. Obviously, didn't opt to take the trade, but it would have been a big play on the stage for him to make that.
Yeah, it definitely could have been that opportunity. That said, I imagine Flare will find some more, especially considering how this lane is going. Now, you know, doubling the CS of Derpy. Again, for those of you in the audience who might not know what we mean by CS, that is reference to creep score, which is the number of the small minions that these champions are taking down. That is how you generate income in this game. With the income, you can buy better items. I'm only bringing this up because I have had a couple people ask me during the break, so that is what we mean by CS in that regard. So essentially, the more CS you have, the further ahead you are in lane. As a long-range Zenith Blade connects on the Soup Time, easily will be able to shield out any of that incoming damage. Very impressed with Soup Time's positioning so far.
Yeah, he's been very good in his lane, being able to, you know, move around correctly, especially into this Leona. But I mean, Braum is definitely a counter to these kind of engagement forces, the Thresh, the Alistar, champions like that.
Here we go, another gank happening as Huntah's trying to come down bot, but once again, Soup Time blocking all of that damage. It's FreeBearFacts who tried to come down, go ahead and dropping Daisy, but not in the position he wants to be. Huntah is in way too deep, however, trying to turn around. Huntah has to flash out to escape. Meanwhile, FreeBearFacts looking for that re-engage. The root comes down, Kazuke defensively flashes, but it's not enough. First blood going to KG3, and they want more. A double kill, in fact, for VERYSTALEMEME. Ace in the hole does not bring down Huntah.
Yeah, that ace in the hole just falling short. The Kayn getting the Shadow Step off, able to get into that wall and get that little bit of health back that he needed to stay alive. But overall, a great turnaround counter gank from FreeBearFacts here on this Ivern scene, engaged in the mid lane.
Yeah, Jòker already taken down to half and with no mana, has to retreat for now. That was a fantastic play from KG3, not in terms of turning it around, but also Flare in stopping Derpy from being able to teleport down to that bot lane and turn it around for them. Good sense of playing the map, of knowing what the situation is, and oh, here comes the tower dive. Jòker has to flash. Flinch now taking a lot of tower hits, flashes out, ignites, dropped, and Finch gets the kill.
Interesting play there from
Finch. We're not done. Big solar flare happening on the bot lane. Soup Time turning things around with that ultimate. Kisuke leading the charge. VERYSTALEMEME is low. The Zenith Blade hits. They throw the damage down, and finally VERYSTALEMEME falls. Soup Time, though, looking to turn it around, does not get that last auto up. Will get chased. A double kill for Sylas. Up top, they're fighting as well. Flare looking for that 1v1. The flash does not connect. Worldbender is dropped, and he gets that last auto and finds the kill. Can Flare escape? Huntah onto the chase. No help coming. Flare's going to try and turn it around. Good sidestep from Huntah, but Flare connects. One more auto does it. A huge double kill for Flare.
Yeah, up in that top side, you can see the potential of that Aatrox ultimate, giving him so much healing, so much sustain, and so much fuel value as well. That passive coming in massive with that auto, giving him so much health back after he picks up that first kill. And see him turning around another gank from Huntah and Derpy, and that's dire straight if you're Marsden if you can't take down this Aatrox this early.
Yeah, long ranges in the hole right there, kind of pushing Sylas back. Fantastic play from Kelvin Grove 3 in regards to that top lane. Flare doing so much for his team right now. The minute Marsden looks like they're starting to gain advantages back on that bot lane, KG3 kind of throwing down that reminder, you know what? Top lane scoring our way right now, and yes, bot lane might be a bit more even, but unless you can do something to stop this Aatrox, we're probably going to win the game this way.
Yeah, I mean, this Aatrox, especially once he gets Death's Dance, plus maybe Spirit Visage as well. I mean, doesn't really need the MR, but just that extra healing on his passive could justify it with the Zoe in the game. And once he gets those 3 items, he is nigh unkillable because he does so much damage.
Ooh, Sleepy Trouble Bubble just missing. Jòker still possibly looking for it. Had to be careful, though. There would have been a 2v1, so Jòker, I think, actually a little bit lucky. No fight breaks out in that situation. At this stage right now, I'm waiting for Huntah to get more involved. I feel as if this Kayn needs to start making an impact now if Marsden's going to get back into this game.
Oh, we see another stun coming down.
Ooh!
Damn, a lot of damage coming through from that paddle star, but I mean, I think Huntah especially needs to make sure he goes red Kayn in this game and not the blue Kayn he got last game. I think he's going to need that extra sustain and damage. Obviously, going for Conqueror as well, so lends himself to red Kayn's extra healing he gets. So I think a 35% healing on the passive. Ooh, I mean, Finchie here in this mid lane is very low, and if Zoe lands a couple Qs, but using up too much mana could lead herself open to
here comes Huntah, and the Sleepy Trouble Bubble did connect. It should be an easy kill picked up, but the Paddle Star missed! And under the tower goes Jòker and Execute! What?
What a joke of a play. Yeah, unfortunate little gank there in the mid lane. Zoe unable to land those last Paddle Stars. Very crucial landing those abilities on the Zoe. Or at least getting down a passive auto. Obviously, Drowsy doesn't actually reveal Akali in her Shroud, so only just had the little indicator there, and not the rest of it. We see Huntah going in for another game.
Huntah's going in, but there's no help yet. Derpy slow to the play, and in a 2v1, I actually like Flare. Meanwhile, down bot, FreeBearFacts is actually going underneath the tower, trying to bring down Kisuke, but this Leona is tanky, doing a lot of work. The tower trying to help out Marsden as much as possible. Ace in the hole will not bring down a kill.
No, unfortunately not. Up on the top side as well. It looks like FlareLG did survive the gank in the 2v1, but didn't pick up a kill.
Oh, Derpy's in a lot of trouble here. Flare slamming him down.
Looks like I spoke a little bit too soon. Now another kill going over to this Aatrox 3-0. Black Cleaver completed. He is very strong. Yes. I think he's definitely going to be hard to take down. And looks like First Blood Tower also going over this bot lane. Unfortunately, not able to get a kill, but able to force both of them out of the bot lane with that nice little gank from the Ivern. And their spoils will be that First Blood Tower.
Oh my gosh, Huntah getting chased down as well. Yes, the ultimate is used, but it's only going to buy so much time. Another big dunk from Flare.
Dunk Master Aatrox maybe instead of the
That's
Dunk Master
Ivern. That's what I was thinking, right? Like, those are dunks. That is a dunk.
That's a big old slam it down. 4 kills now. Both of them in 2v1s, and both of them on the jungler and top laner. So Huntah and Derpy looking a little bit worse for wear when it comes to fighting against the Aatrox. Red buff as well drops, so Caitlyn can swing past and pick that up. Or the Akali in the mid lane as well if she wants. That's one of the advantages about the Ivern's passive. It actually allows you to duplicate both of your buffs in the jungle. Obviously, red buff giving you a little bit of slowing autos and burn damage. Or burn and anti-healing, I think it is, on that passive. And the blue buff obviously restoring your resource bar. Or mana is what we call it. Those little blue bars you see under the champions is what the abilities cost to use. So very useful buff, especially on most mid lane champions. Akali maybe not one of the most benefactors of that buff, but I mean having infinite energy is still not the worst thing in the world. Means those Qs are going to cost a lot less and they're going to come up a lot more often. However, I mean a little bit of we've seen a lot of action across this game as a whole, and it's definitely looking either side. I mean, Kelvin Grove are up 5k gold at 15 minutes, which is quite a sizable lead, and I think most of that remains in the top side through FlareLG, obviously having a really nice CS lead and, of course, a kill lead as well. But it looks like a nice rotation here from Kelvin Grove 4.
Oh, no. Stunned under the tower. The damage from VERYSTALEMEME is huge. Ace in the hole brings down Derpy, and another kill for KG3.
Yeah, KG3 there, catching him out, using the rotation. It's very smart rotating your bot lane up as soon as you can after you take that first tower, especially with a Caitlyn lane. One of Caitlyn's core strengths as a champion is she has superior range to pretty much every other character in the game except the level 16 Tristana, which means she's able to sit back and siege these towers down super effectively. So as you can see here, she just sits back, takes another tower, and having a bot lane rotated up in a 2v1 on that top side means that tower goes down extremely fast. And now it looks like they can also move towards the Rift Turret as Huntah in the mid lane.
Yeah, this is actually a lot of damage on Finchi. They do force out the flash, but Ignite had been dropped. So Summoner for Summoner. Finchi, obviously with the flash, that's the more important one. Maybe that could be an opening for Marsden to fight back into this game. However, they are still so far behind.
That's a cool interaction. So Ivern wasn't actually the one taking the buff. Caitlyn took it, and yet it's still left behind the passive. I didn't know that was an interaction with Ivern. That's new.
Yes. That is the case. Oh, Sleepy Trouble Bubble, perhaps. It does miss. FreeBearFacts just steps forward and forces the flash from Jòker.
Oh,
and here comes Flare. There's the real flash, so the real flash did get used at the end of the day. Still, all that happened was people walking towards Jòker and 2 flashes had to be expelled. Meanwhile, this mid lane siege will continue. 5 members from each team are here, and it's our classic ARAM.
Classic bit of ARAM here. I mean, I definitely think KG3 are much stronger right now, and mainly that's through Flare and the Hextech Gunblade being competed on Finchi. You see, oh my god. So much damage. But Jòker here on this, Zoe also has no mana, so not going to be able to put that poke back. And obviously, being so immobile, you can see how immobile that champion is once she gets caught out. Obviously, expending both a fake flash and a real flash to get out of that scenario she had herself in. Looks like just be backing in the bush in the mid lane, or just mucking around, have a little bit of a dance parting this mid lane. Looks like everyone else on the red side of Marsden will have to reset. Looks like this tower's going straight over to KG3.
Yeah, this should be the last tier 1 tower falling, and really from here, I'd like to see KG3 rotate possibly for that Rift Herald. It's only going to be up for another 3 minutes or so, and they have the deep vision on the top side of the map to help secure it quite easily. Instead, however, Flare has actually opted to go down below, collecting that Ocean Drake solo. Not much Marsden can do to stop it.
Yeah, I mean, they did try to get it when Kelvin Grove rotated their bot side up to the top side, but FlareLG was actually strong enough in the 2v1 to push up the mini wave and actually go and force Huntah off that objective. So Ocean Dragon goes over, first Dragon of the game to KG3, and a second Ocean Dragon is the next one to be spawning. So we don't get any fun drakes this game.
No.
But Ocean Dragon is still very useful, especially when you get 2 or 3 of them. Means those sieges, which you want to play around with this Caitlyn, right? You've got a siege comp whenever you pick this champion, or that at least is a win condition. Means you're going to have so much more ability to withstand the poke coming out of this Kaisei and this Zoe.
Yeah, I mean, everyone wants the triple Infernal Drake or the triple Mountain Drake game. Sometimes you just got to make do with what you get. If it's triple Ocean, we're going to tell you why it's not actually that bad. Ocean Drakes can be fun. I know if I'm playing, and I like to play those CG mid laners if I'm forced to go mid, and I love Ocean Drakes. Ocean Drake on Malzahar is fantastic. Ocean Drake on Akali, well, maybe not so much.
I mean, it's still an extra bit of sustain, right? But the biggest thing is generally a squishy champion should get burned down quickly. But I mean, we see this damage coming out of Jòker as well. Zoe is just such a menace. That full range paddle star with the Sleepy Trouble Bubble doing so much damage. Even though she's behind, right, still did 3/4 of Ivern's health through a shield, which powered up by the Redemption as well. So a lot of damage coming out of the Jòker despite being behind, and still a very lethal threat. The poke out of this champion is nuts, and that's mainly the reason why you picked the Zoe. One of my personal favorite champions, but again, not doing much against a Braum shield.
Yeah, the thing though is, okay, even if Jòker is able to like take out a priority target, I'm assuming VERYSTALEMEME is who he would want, you still have to deal with Flare.
Yeah.
And as much damage as Jòker is doing at the moment, I don't think it would be enough to handle Flare if Flare starts to opt for a hard side lane push.
Well, see, honestly, Joker's job is not to kill Flare, right?
Yeah.
He's never going to have enough damage to do the DPS to take it down over time, because Aatrox is obviously a very tanky unit. I think, look, honestly, Derpy and ôśylâsÖ both need to get their anti-healing items. It's 800 gold to get an Executioner's Calling, and it solves all your problems against this Aatrox unit. Significantly reduces his healing, and also Blade of the Ruin King as well being finished on the Vayne means he should be shredding through Aatrox's bonus health. I think it's, kind of a little bit of a mistake not counter-building with that 800 gold Executioner's Calling earlier. But, obviously decided they'd rather get the value out of those larger cooldown items, and Rift Herald does also go over to KG3.
Yeah, so Rift Herald has been secured by KG3, and as much as I do agree, yes, an Executioner's Calling would be fantastic, really it could only go on to Huntah right now, because Derpy is that far behind, doesn't even have that first item built. It's a pretty tough situation.
I still think, if I'm playing this Vayne into Aatrox matchup and I die once in lane or fall behind a little bit of CS, I'm instantly building that anti-healing, because I know how strong he is with that ultimate, and that just counters so much of what he wants to do. Obviously, you pick this matchup maybe not knowing it's not a very common matchup, the Vayne into Aatrox, so obviously very versatile, but you just know these items are items that kind of work against certain champions, so building those items or opting towards certain builds against certain champions definitely help in these matchups you're not sure about.
Sleepy Trouble Bubble did hit, but the Pal Star wasn't there. Huntah stepping forward, tried to harass FreeBearFacts. Health bars, though, quite low for Marsden, so they need to be careful. Root just missing Huntah right there, and the siege will continue. I imagine the next wave crashing could be that opening for KG3, especially with Flare pushing that side lane. Sylas on his own, down bot. I don't think Sylas wants to be there right now and will need help soon, but with Derpy's health bar so low, that's a Vayne going back to base, and that could be an opening for Baron, in fact.
Yeah, I mean, Baron obviously just spawned as well, but they're definitely strong enough to do it. Caitlyn about to finish her rapid fire cannon, so she'll have that extra attack speed, extra crit chance, as well as see the red buff smited away by the Ivern, and another one gifted over to VERYSTALEMEME. I mean, it's a permanent red buff this game with the Ivern on her team. Constant refreshing of that buff, but yeah, Aatrox as well, almost finishing this Death Dance. I think he's probably about 1,000 gold off that. Akali getting towards her pen boot, and I think a Morellonomicon should be coming for her next. So once these next items come through, you're going to really see KG3 start to take over these games, and it's kind of been what's been happening today. It's been these mid-game spiking teams that have been coming through and stomping, and I think even though Marsden have kind of got a little bit extra late game, they've still got no tanks, they've still got none of this extra damage, and now the tower falls to KG3.
Yeah, Marsden's window to come back into this game, I feel like it's shrinking ever so slowly. KG3 has slowed down the pace. It's not been a case of Marsden doing a lot defensively. I feel as if KG3 actually haven't been playing as aggressive as they could possibly be getting away with in this situation. And I'm a little nervous about it until I remember, well, hold on. It's KG3 who has the Caitlyn Braum. It's KG3 who has the Aatrox right now. This game can go late and actually still be perfectly fine. So slowing down the pace of the game isn't as detrimental as it potentially could be.
Yeah, it's definitely not, right? They've still got these late game threats in the Caitlyn and, of course, the Aatrox as well. And I think it's a very smart comp they've built here around with the Caitlyn.
Jòker perhaps going a little too far deep. Finchi going super deep after Jòker drops the Ignite and gets the kill, but at what cost? Well, it seems like to be the front line blowing up Marsden, so KG3 looking for that fight, potentially to get some inhibitors. They take down 2 members.
Yeah, and that should be another tower going over to KG3. If not another couple of kills.
Ooh. Derpy barely surviving that one, but now has to retreat. Only Sylas and Huntah can really defend, and how much can 2 members do against 4 strong? The answer is not much as another tower falls.
Yeah, and as I was briefly saying, right, they've got a very nice comp where they've got the Akali and the Aatrox who both spike off 2 items, and Caitlyn who has one of the most lackluster mid games in the game. But it doesn't matter when you're this far ahead, when you're almost 10,000 gold over your opponent and knocking on the doors of the base in 22 minutes.
Yeah, it is now time for Marsden to play some of the best defense they ever have if they want to take this one. Huntah Bacon going over the wall actually gets pulled back towards Flare, and the follow-up damage is there, but not enough to bring him down. Huntah barely surviving.
Yeah, see, I really want to see KG3 now just reset, buy their items, get their fully power spikes completed, because I think they should have enough gold on all these carries now to get those big items. Reset, set up vision around the Baron, play it slow, get that Baron buff, and then really set up this siege with 4 members around this Caitlyn, and then the Aatrox in the side lane, or maybe even a 1-3-1 with obviously Caitlyn with the 2 supports, and then the Aatrox and the Akali drawing pressure to the side lanes.
Yeah, I mean, and that actually...
Oh, is that a Rift Herald? They still have a Rift Herald. What's this?
Yeah, Rift Herald, it was taken very late and finally will get dropped. It won't be able to get much, but it definitely putting more pressure there. And with all 5 members of Marsden in the mid lane trying to react to that Rift Herald, it does mean that Aatrox is going to go ahead and walk some minions straight into the inhibitor. A bit of a reaction play, but it doesn't look like KG3 is actually going to get much for splitting the comp just yet, opting to reset at the moment instead.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely need to have the Aatrox taking down these towers. He takes it down a lot faster than the Akali. Akali's more of a need to fight me kind of laner and not going to have that same pressure on the towers. So into this top lane, as there are 2 towers available, it's definitely more worthwhile to have the Aatrox up here. But obviously that teleport is used to force out a global for this Baron, so obviously that's why they've chosen these lane assignments.
FreeBearFacts in a bit of trouble. Huntah trying to get another kill for his team. Big ultimate coming out from Kisuke. It slows him down. Ocean Dragon secured. Wolvac provide enough healing. Might not be needed because VERYSTALEMEME is here and Kisuke is in so deep. Here comes the follow-up though from the rest of Marsden. Kisuke low, trying to buy as much time before falling. The Marsden looking for this fight. They're getting damage over the wall. The health bars are low, but it doesn't matter because FlareLG walks straight into the backline and goes down. A huge kill for Marsden, and they want more. FreeBearFacts hanging around on such low health, barely dodges that attack from Huntah, and VERYSTALEMEME is turning the damage right back around. Huge shield from Soup Time turns it back in their favor. A big double kill for VERYSTALEMEME, as Jòker is the last one left alive, running for his life.
Yeah, you should go down very quickly here. Ooh, almost goes down.
Almost goes down there. Finchi is not the one who gets it. It's actually stolen by Soup Time. A huge ace for Kelvin Grove.
And that should be the Baron going over to KG3 here. They should just move towards it and pick up that objective. I mean, FlareLG teleporting in from the bot side is an interesting move from him. I definitely think... I mean, Kelvin Grove won that team fight emphatically, but they made it hard for themselves, right? They kind of made the mistake of extending themselves a little bit further when FlareLG had pulled back to get that Ocean Dragon. I think that's a little bit of a communication issue, right? You're going to need to be on the same page. If you want to go for these fights, if you want to be pushing up these lanes, you need to say, hey guys, let's try to push this inhibitor. I'm going to push this lane in now. They're going to try to force a fight, get ready to back off and TP to me. But they still needed to get that pressure. They took a 4v5 fight. I mean, they still won it, right? But at the cost of Flare's life. I mean, should be up in time to grab this Baron buff, and Finch here in the mid lane playing with fire, but Kelvin Grove treated maybe not as clean as they could potentially be in, against a stronger opponent or someone else who's, if they're not as far ahead in another game, could definitely have seen a turnaround there. But fortunately for them, they get away with it, and Marsden still have to defend their base.
Yeah, I mean, a 12k gold lead at this stage kind of tells me KG3 should be walking away with the victory. eventually, but I do agree. I feel as if KG3 still has a lot to learn in terms of both playing the map, as well as how they sort of coordinate in these team fights. That has been their weakness so far, as Huntah looking to try and start a little pick right here onto Flare. Flare could potentially turn it, but maybe not in a 3v1. Huge damage coming from Derpy, as well as Huntah help bring down the top laner, so a solid pick right there for Marsden.
Yeah, Aatrox not popping that ultimate early. Surprised he held on to it for so long. I mean, so much crowd control or CC, or what we call like interruptions, so stuns, slows, etc. Coming through from the Leona in particular, just locking down that Aatrox, being him unable to move, able to land those sweet spots, and as a result goes down in the 3v2. Or 3v1, sorry. Yeah,
that is definitely a huge pickup from Marsden. It's going to buy more time. It's another Baron buff gone. Good roam from Keisuke as well. Hit the Zenith Blade on the VERYSTALEMEME, but Soup Time coming in clutch, helping turn this around. Meanwhile, up above, Huntah in trouble with the Ignite will fall. 4 kills across the map for KG3. Only Derpy left standing, and the hunt is on. FreeBearFacts chasing him back towards the rest of the team. This Vayne should not be able to escape the Condemn. Can only do so much until he walks right into the VERYSTALEMEME. There is the ace, and KG3 should be taking out some inhibitors.
Yeah, if not the game here, man, it's still 15 seconds on their first one that's up, and it's the Leona and the Kai'Sa. They've got Demolish on the Braum. It should be at least 2 inhibitors, if not a Nexus Tower as well. Don't think they'll end the game here, but if they're a little bit faster on it, they maybe could have. But definitely with the Baron, they could definitely pressure to end here, but it's definitely going to be 2 inhibitors.
Yeah, it's going to be 2 inhibitors at least, if not more. The question is, will KG3 stick around? The siege on the Nexus is on. Towers being threatened right now. Marsden stepping forward, trying to contest, but 1 tower is gone. Huntah gets onto FreeBearFacts. Ultimates are dropped as his Zenith Blade goes on to Finchi as well, but there's no backline damage coming through, so VERYSTALEMEME easily picks up another one. The second Nexus tower quite low. Jòker gets a lot of burst onto FreeBearFacts, can't bring him down, and Huntah pays the price. 2 members down for Marsden. The second tower gone as well. Derpy gets caught out. The 3rd kill is there. The Nexus will fall, and KG3 will win this match.
I love that ending there from KG3, just stomping down their authority, knowing how far ahead they are and not getting scared, not backing off like we kind of saw in those first 2 games. They're very much just going, all right, we can end the game now. Our time is here, our time is now, and they just ran through and took out the game.
Yeah, KG3, when it was time to close, they closed indeed. It did look like Marsden could have been potentially breathing signs of life back into this game.
Yeah.
A couple clutch picks. I did like the roams coming from Keisuke, trying to get things started. I just feel it was almost too little too late. That is what they needed to be doing roughly 10 minutes prior to that.
Yeah, most definitely. I definitely think they need to have these a little bit more priority. I mean, I'd say the biggest thing is FlareLG up in that top side. Aatrox just got ridiculously far ahead, and they had better rotations with the Caitlyn as well. There was a little bit of a mistake in that little mid-game fight there where they kind of took a 4v5 and then didn't rotate properly, TP'd to the wrong spot and got caught out. But at the end of the game, that was still like 10... I think they were 10 or 9k gold up at that point, and so at the end of the day, a wrong fight here or there is not really going to matter. And overall, coming through, see players shaking hands as well, so good to see everyone getting involved in just playing on this stage. But we will be back very shortly with the Game 4 of today versus our 2 beginner teams. So a little bit more of experience there.
We need to name MVP and ace for this one.
Of course.
We do need to name one.
I mean, I would definitely say my ace is the Leona. I think Keisuke played really well this lane. He had some really nice creative angles, especially you saw that little engage onto VERYSTALEMEME at the end there over the wall. Sure, it didn't work because they was too far behind, but it was still this idea, and it was very much it's very much one of those games where you see him, and he didn't play like fantastically. He didn't do a carry performance, but he did the best he could. And I feel like if the rest of his team was a little bit further ahead, what he could have done would have allowed him to win the game or maybe even turn it around. But just because they were so far behind in gold, his engages, which were fantastic, just weren't being capitalized on because they didn't have the damage there.
All right, now for MVP, I have a feeling we might disagree on this one. Because Instinct is saying, oh, FlareLG, he was getting those solo kills, taking over the bot line, FlareLG. I actually want to say Soup Time. Those Braum shields and ultimates are what turned the fights around. And without him making those plays, those fights actually could have gone the other way.
I mean, so I was going to say VERYSTALEMEME was the MVP, actually.
Okay.
On the Caitlyn. I think the Caitlyn siege and that pick in general was just very much the reason why they were able to take the game over. I think he had some very clutch team fights with some triple kills where he was able to just sit at the back and kiting out properly, using that net not to chase a kill forward or to just get an easy last bit of damage, but he usually held those cooldowns to make sure he was peeled and stayed alive and to continue getting that DPS out in those fights. The Braum definitely, I think Soup Time, I think both the bot lane played really well, and obviously Flare, as he quite well as well, but I think Flare made a couple of mistakes when he got a little bit further ahead, which is why you can kind of say, hey, he didn't really he was ahead, and he looked good because he was ahead, but he didn't snowball as effectively as maybe he could have, and he maybe could have helped his team end the game much faster than what happened.
Yeah.
It still played well, obviously, very good performance in that 2v1 in the Vayne. He did many 2v1s and got those early kills on the top lane, but I definitely would say, I mean, my MVP was a Caitlyn. But Sultan played very. I mean, it's between those two.
It was that bot lane. It was a bot lane MVP performance for sure. So congratulations to Kelvin Grove, #3, and a huge thank you for Marsden as well for coming out here and performing on stage at the Ekka. Unfortunately, that is the last time we're going to actually be seeing both of these teams.
Yeah.
As our next Kelvin Grove match will be Kelvin Grove 4, but our next game in general is actually going to be a throwback to the first two that we have seen.
Ironside versus Mueller, right?
Yep, Ironside versus Mueller in our next match. So in roughly 30 minutes, please head on back because we have more high school action coming at you here at the Ekka. Don't go anywhere.